Hey guys, it's Akira here with Noan, and we know E3's been done and dusted. Can you say done? E3's been it's been a while since E3, right? It's been a while since E3, and a lot of announcements happened, stuff that we kind of expected, and stuff we predicted, and there were some surprise announcements as well. So we are just here to talk about, what took our fancy, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we missed, and
what we didn't get.
What we didn't get.
There were a lot of things that we didn't get.
Yeah. So one of the questions that I've seen floating around is like people asking this. They ask this kind of every time. Who won E3? Like every year they ask this question, right? Like who won E3?
Yeah.
What do you think this time? Like who do you think?
This time it's very hard to pick a winner because, I mean, so many people were not there. So many people were doing their own thing. I mean, E3 had their couple of showcases, but then so many publishers were doing their own thing. So how can you say? It's difficult to say who's winning because it's not one event anymore. And then Sony did that thing a while back. They weren't even doing anything for E3. So it's kind of hard to pick one winner.
Previously, we had Bethesda separate and Microsoft doing their own thing, but this time they combined, and that was like a massive, event because all of them were
massive lineup of things. Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft as a publisher and Bethesda as a publisher, they have like a lot of studios under their belt, right? So now that they're together, it's like further expanded, right? So
yeah, I mean, and Bethesda, everything Bethesda is going to do in the future is going to be Microsoft and PC. So
mostly, that's gonna
that's gonna happen. Pretty much, yeah.
I'm trying to.
And some people are a bit upset about it. Some people are a bit upset about it. But I mean, what did we expect, right?
True. I mean, Sony has their own exclusives, so Microsoft should too. I mean, PC gamers get the benefit, like no matter what happens. Now that a lot of Sony titles are coming to PC as well. I mean, you had Days Gone recently, and Horizon came a while back.
Horizon came out,
I mean, I think they're sending stuff to PC. They do have a bunch of stuff, right? They have God of War, they have Uncharted, Last of Us, they have Spider-Man. I mean, if they are,
I mean, if Sony is smart, I mean, they'll release God of War 1 on PC before the second one comes out.
Yeah.
Right? Get new fans.
True.
And then they'll have to buy a PS4 to... Actually, you don't have to buy a PS4. It's on PS4, I think. Ragnarok is coming to PS4.
Ragnarok is coming to PS4, right? Yeah. I mean, I think they did the same thing with by releasing Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. Now that we've gotten a taste of it, it's gonna be when Forbidden West comes out.
I think the reason is that because there's not a lot of people who have the PS5, and there's shortages and all that, so they have to kind of release it on current gen. I think that's okay. I think because considering that most people can't find a PS5 right now.
Yeah. So Ubisoft is what we kind of started with this time, E3, E3 proper. And you didn't really see a lot of new stuff by Ubisoft, right?
Not a lot. I mean, there was a lot of stuff they didn't show, like the pirate games.
That was Skull and Bones, right? Skull and Bones,
yeah. That wasn't shown.
What was that? Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been missing for a while.
It's been missing. Yeah.
But
the surprise one for me was Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Yes.
I didn't expect that to show up, and there's not a lot of information on it, but it's going to be next gen and coming next year.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it will be some kind of cross-promotional thing with the movie because the second movie is also coming out December of next year.
Probably.
So it'll be interesting to see what this is going to do, whether it's going to cross over. Are we going to see cameos from movie characters?
Could be, right?
Are we going to see, right? Yeah, it looks like a first-person game. It looks really good, like the graphics. The world of Pandora looks really amazing. So let's see. I mean, it has a lot of potential. I think as a game world, it has a potential, but I mean, it's Ubisoft, so
I mean, yeah,
we have
that's
been wowed.
that's the biggest.
We have been wowed by
Yeah.
trailers, and then the game comes out and it's not the same thing. But I mean, it has a potential. I mean, it's something I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how all of this is gonna play out. Like, because there's all these different creatures and plants and the world of Pandora.
It was very
I think-
lush, right? Like the flora and the fauna. It was like very lush.
colorful.
I know.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, something I'll definitely keep an eye out for. And I'm wondering now, it showed you playing as a Navi, but I'm wondering if there's an element where you actually play as a human as well. I mean, the game is called Avatar, so that whole point of Avatar is a human guy in a Navi body. So I'm wondering at some point you're suddenly going to wake up and realize that you're actually a human, like that Assassin's Creed kind of moment when you wake up in the Animus for the first time. Like, cool. It'll be a cool kind of a plot twist if they do that.
I mean, it all depends on how Ubisoft decides to pull it off, right? I mean, that's the biggest worry as well. Like, whenever Ubisoft announces a game, like people are right, it's a game, but then again, oh no, it's Ubisoft, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot
people
of
get hyped up and then it seems to be the same kind of thing as before. But let's see.
I mean, Ubisoft has this pattern. I'm sure like a lot of people would have noticed this by now. Like, here's a big open map, like a massive map. Here's some things to collect, a lot of things to collect actually. Go here, clear this tower, clear this camp, climb this
But
mountain.
It's too big. It's too big.
It is, right? They have what do you call? I mean, it's kind of becoming very generic right now. They are like open world structure, right?
Because they are going for like bigger, as big as possible, right?
Yeah.
But I think they need to kind of rein it in, focus more. But let's see what they do. Let's see if they've learned from their mistakes.
True. That was like the biggest complaint against Odyssey. I mean, that's why they kind of toned down Valhalla, I guess. Yeah.
But I've heard Valhalla is actually quite big.
It is big, but I think
like people are. Yeah.
I mean, it's not empty like Odyssey was, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
You saw the trailer for Rainbow Six Extraction, right?
Oh, I thought, like, come on, what the hell was that, man? I mean, look, Rainbow Six is supposed to be a realistic kind of military shooter, tactical, and like with like real geopolitics of a region and how that plays into what's going on. Like, and this is an alien
zombie. I know, very.
They've gone, and I think it was originally not supposed to be Rainbow Six. It was something else. It was some other alien
IP,
shooter thing, and they kind of, I feel like they just put the name on top of that, and I don't know, man. I mean,
until
that should have been its own game.
Until a couple of months ago, the game was actually called Rainbow Six Quarantine. Right, as I remember, it was called Rainbow Six Quarantine. I mean, it was
it was the name Quarantine that they needed to change. I think
maybe it was hitting too close to home. Quarantine, so they are like, no, not really.
They didn't want
Extraction.
But it's such an odd thing to put.
I know.
In a Rainbow Six game. I feel like a lot of people are wondering what the hell this is.
Apparently, they take almost all the. I'm not really sure about the numbers. They are taking a lot of operators from Siege, right, and putting them in as playable characters with their skills and weapons and stuff.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the Tom Clancy fans want like a more realistic thing, right?
Tom Clancy fans want a Splinter Cell. That's what they want. That's what we want, right? I mean,
that's the other thing that wasn't there. Like
a Splinter Cell game. True.
It's about time, man. Like, they need to come back to that.
I mean, everyone was hinting at Ubisoft themselves, they were hinting at a Splinter Cell game. Did you play New Dawn, Far Cry New Dawn, the Far Cry 5
I didn't play
spin-off?
No, I didn't. No, I did not play that.
You do get. I mean, you even get your hands on Sam Fisher's iconic stealth suit, the full stealth suit.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of.
And there was some mobile game, right? There was some mobile game that had Sam Fisher on it.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff. I mean,
a lot of Tom Clancy characters. Yeah. I mean, everyone wants Splinter Cell, but no one's getting Splinter Cell. And on the same note about a missing game, that's Beyond Good and Evil 2, right? I mean, when was the last time we actually heard something solid about the game? That was 2019.
That was a few years ago. 2018 or 2019 when we saw that gameplay kind of, not gameplay, but a trailer.
That is a cinematic trailer,
and, Yeah, and they showed a little bit of the world, like how the scale of it, and it looked very impressive. But if you're going something with that scale, it's going to be really hard to make.
It is.
So, and we haven't heard about it. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to know what's happening with it. Like,
we don't know what they're doing.
Trouble.
With
I don't.
It. Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good IP. If they're putting it to use, it's a very good IP. Yeah. Like, you have a lot of fans around the first game, so people are there for it.
And it had a lot of personality. That trailer, the characters, and all that.
Far Cry 6, they had more trailers. Like
they revealed it before E3.
Yeah. Plus, they had like more trailers focused on the villain Castillo. Yeah.
I hope that. He'll have a big role, because hopefully. A lot of the time the villains kind of get the short end of the stick, and I mean they show them a lot in the trailers and everyone gets excited. Wow, these guys look cool, but then when you actually get to the game, they are not really there a lot, right?
I know. I mean, I liked Vas as a villain. Very, I don't know. He was a very convincing villain, I'd say. Right. So was Pagan Ming, but I didn't really like Joe's the father. I've forgotten his Seed.
The guy who was in 5, right?
He was in 5. Joseph Seed. Yeah, the father. He was not. I mean, very compelling. 5 overall as a game, I did not really like Far Cry 5. No New Dawn. It kind of lacked the whole. I mean, Far Cry used to take us to these exotic locations, right? Like somewhere in, I don't know, the Himalayas or Far Cry 3's Rook Islands, right? But then you go to Hope Country, America, and you're like, it's a bunch of fanatics running around preaching, and what is this, right? So
But this one, Far Cry 6, the one thing that might be cool is that it's there will be city locations, so it'll be interesting to see how they do like an urban sort of map, because we haven't seen that. It's usually like a tropical island or some faraway place, but now they're going to have like a city kind of a location.
Yeah. I mean it's a bit of a new setting, right?
Because they haven't done something on that kind of complexity, right?
Yeah. And they have made a lot of improvements. The characters actually speak. Like you have a personality this time, right? It's not like, I mean, not just speak. I mean, your characters actually interact properly, and you're shown in third-person cutscenes and all.
And your
that,
character
right?
has a voice. Your character has a voice now.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the 2 trailers, like where they kind of side by side compared the male Dunny to the female Dunny, the main characters? And for some reason,
I didn't see that.
The female Dunny has a bit more personality in her voice. I mean, sounds very outspoken and all, in compared to the male Dunny.
Actually, right? I only saw her one, and she seemed all right. She seemed fine. I didn't see the guy.
I mean, most of the trailers are focused on female Dunny, right? I guess that's part of Ubisoft's damage control as well. I mean,
there was some news that came out that said that they don't want female protagonists or something.
And like, workplace
some of the earlier games
issues as well.
Yeah. So right? They're kind of doing some damage control.
Damage control could be.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's pretty much it for Ubisoft. No.
Yeah. Oh, there was one more. This one. This was for the Switch. I was kind of hyped about it. Mario plus Rabbids sequel. I don't have a Switch, so I I played the first one. I actually loved the first one. It's a cinematic trailer and a bit of a gameplay trailer as well. Right? It's basically if you take XCOM, like the turn-based XCOM, and mash it up with Mario, right? So I mean, what's special about this is like the first game and this is like one of the few times where Nintendo is kind of giving out one of their precious IPs to a third, as in another developer. They don't really do that. They
don't trust anyone.
They don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully this means, I mean, they'll be more open as we go.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the next big one was the Microsoft kind of combined. Yeah, they
Bethesda
had a lot of stuff in that. Bethesda. So Bethesda Starfield, there was a little trailer, cinematic.
Starfield, like that was actually
there's
first
not much
revealed.
to. Yeah. There was not much to. I mean, it's not really gameplay, but what I did like was that they are going for a very serious kind of hard sci-fi kind of look. It's not kind of weird and kind of quirky like Fallout.
Yeah.
So
True.
this is looks more serious, looks more realistic. So I think that looked good to me. That's the tone they're going for. So that's pretty much all I can say about it. I mean, what else can you say about it?
Everyone is kind of wondering still what is Starfield. Like we don't really know. I mean, sure they showed us a bit of cinematic game trailer and stuff, but we don't really know what it is, right?
I mean, planet exploration to some degree.
It is a role-playing game, right? So yeah,
I think so.
So this is technically the biggest IP, the newest IP that they have in 20 years or something. I mean, they've been focused on Fallout and Elder Scrolls all this time. Right.
Yeah, and I think another good thing is that so because they are now part of Microsoft, they have said that they are able to focus more on the platforms that they are making it for.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means like less bugs
and getting rid of the
much better. Yeah, like all the
creation engine,
stuff.
the old engine. I think they're updating it. They have updated it. Like
So hopefully that means more focused, and they can do a better job. With the execution of some of these projects. So that was Bethesda's big one. Then we had Stalker was the other one.
Yeah.
Stalker 2. I think one of my most anticipated games.
You played Stalker. Like, are you like a hardcore Stalker fan? You played the first 3 games.
I guess I can call myself that. I mean, I played 2 of the games. I played Call of Pripyat and Shadow of Chernobyl. Those were the ones I played. But we kind of got, pretty much everything Stalker fans like from those games. The bleak and creepy atmosphere, all the monsters and the anomalies and artifact hunting, and also we saw like a bunch of guys sitting around a campfire playing guitar, which is something you see a lot. Weapon customization we saw, and that's something that was, it used to be you had to go into a menu, but this time we kind of saw it while
on the fly, right? You
like,
can the guy picking up the telescopic sight or something and just putting it on the rifle and
and this has been like so long in the making. Like we've been waiting for a long time. And it looks good. Like it looks like a modern game. And hopefully it will run better, because again, like those older games were a bit buggy. And they have also they're saying that this will be fully open world, like seamless, because it used to be sort of separated parts where when you go into a new area it'll load. So this will be without loading, it'll be seamless. And they're saying that different systems will be sort of interacting. So that was something they aimed for. They tried to have in the older games, but didn't always work, because it's a bit buggy. So you're supposed to have different factions and monsters and weather systems kind of dynamically interacting, right? So hopefully they'll pull that off, without any issues.
And I mean, I'm not a fan of survival horror games, so like I didn't really get into it. But like in the same way, I've been putting off Metro, right? I've been putting off Metro for a while, and then I was like, screw this, I'm gonna play Metro to see what the thing is. And I played Metro, and I absolutely loved the game, right? And
you just played Exodus, right?
No, I played the first 2, and then I moved into Exodus. Right. Like, I mean, that underground atmosphere of like post-nuclear war scenario is like very well depicted. And it's no surprise, because like 4A games is made up of people who kind of broke away from GSC Game World, the original Stalker developers, right? And they take a lot of influence, right? So
definitely,
And when I looked at this trailer, the new one, as in Stalker 2's trailer, I kind of realized this has like major similarities to Metro,
Mm.
right? And vice
And now the
versa. That's how
graphics
it,
have
yeah,
sort of, the graphics have caught up now. So now it actually looks like a Metro game now.
it does. It does.
Yeah. But this will be much more open, I think, than the Metro
Yeah.
games have done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
even
and-
in
and-
Exodus, it's not really open. Well, certain levels you have like a vast level in front of you where you can go and explore and stuff, but not technically open world. So, you know.
Yeah. It's I mean, even Exodus was sort of scripted, like
To a
it's
certain
not
extent,
really
yeah.
doing a lot of dynamic things.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing Stalker 2 is aiming for that. And they have even said that now in the older games, your choices really mattered. So there were choices to be made, and now I'm wondering whether those choices will actually affect the game world as you're playing it. So that might be cool to see what kind of effects they will have. That's something I'm like looking forward to see what's going to happen with that. So this is coming. It's coming next year, actually, I think.
Yeah. Half of the games, I think more than half of the games actually announced during the Microsoft Bethesda conference, they always had a release date of 2022, like somewhere in 2022. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that's a big one for me, I think. Stalker 2, really looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2 was part of the Microsoft showcase, right?
It was part of the Microsoft showcase.
They are part of Microsoft now, right?
Yeah. Double Fine was acquired by Microsoft. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft acquired a lot of studios, right?
Yeah. That's probably a good thing because the thing with Double Fine is that they make like really quirky, really cool games, but they don't always sell well. So they need I think they really need Microsoft to market this.
Yeah. Because so I'm pretty sure you might have played, you being a metal fan, you might have played Brutal Legend.
I actually, now that you mentioned, I was playing it today.
Okay.
So I was gonna show this.
Nice. Yeah. Is that the PS3? That's a PS3, right? That's
it's a PS3 version of it. Yeah. I was actually playing it today. I was watching some Tenacious D videos and felt like playing. Jack Black is in the game.
Yeah, Jack Black is in it. Yeah.
Felt like, and Jack Black did a song for Psychonauts too, right? There was some kind of song. I think he may be contributing to the soundtrack. I'm not sure. But Psychonauts, I haven't. I played a little bit of the original game, but it looks like really cool, really funny.
I mean, it looks very wacky, right? The colors and the worlds and everything.
Very imaginative, very unique kind of a thing. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get a sequel for Brutal Legend one day.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's also a game that had a lot of neat ideas, but maybe like at the time, I think they were trying to do too much. It had like open world elements. It had some
strategy.
Strategy, and it was doing a lot of things, but didn't. I mean, it didn't do it perfectly, but maybe with if they get another crack at it, maybe they can do a better game. Yeah.
And you saw the announcement for Redfall, right? Redfall, right?
Yeah.
That was
I think I briefly saw it. Yeah.
So that's basically Left 4 Dead with vampires instead of zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, it's Arcane, so a lot of powers and abilities and stuff, right?
Arcane. So basically, Arcane has two games that they're working on right now. They're working on Deathloop and they're working on this. So I hope it's not going to be
one for Microsoft, one for Sony.
One for Sony. Yeah. True. I mean, that's a funny thing, right? One for Sony, one for Microsoft. Let's hope it doesn't.
I don't think
it's not going to be a problem for them. Like, you've heard of stories, plenty of stories. Yeah, developers end up taking a lot of projects at the same time, and it gets messy. Right?
That can happen. Yeah. I'm guessing Contraband.
Contraband was another. We don't know what Contraband is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's an open world kind of heist.
Co-op heist game. Yeah. From the looks of it, the trailer, it's set in somewhere during the 70s or the 80s. I mean, it is a very retro looking trailer. That was nice. I like the cinematic trailer.
Yeah. Right? And it's made by Avalanche. So have a good track record for open world kind of fun games, right? Like
Yeah,
Mad
the
Max.
thing
And,
is with Avalanche, they make good open worlds which are chaotic fun, but sometimes it gets a bit repetitive after a
yeah,
while.
because it
Avalanche.
looks good, it's
Yeah.
big, but very repetitive. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Avalanche made Mad Max. Remember, Mad Max was a bit of a mixed bag. It was okay in certain places, but the world felt a bit.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I heard that it was repetitive. Yeah,
it kind of was.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the game actually is. It's gonna take some time to.
Contraband. There's really not much to say about it. So
true.
far.
Age of Empires 4 had a new trailer, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the trailer yet.
You've seen the other trailers, like Age of Empires, when they properly announced it, as in properly revealed it, actually, not announced it.
Yeah, when they revealed, yeah, I saw it there.
They say they're going back to their roots. I mean, what they kind of left out when they made Age of Empires 3, they're kind of going back to the good stuff in the second game. Like stone is back. Like Age of Empires 3, they cut out stone as a resource. Right? They only had wood and gold. Yeah, so they are bringing back stone. I mean, it might sound like something very small, but like for the fans, it's something. I mean, it is big when you think of it like that. It is.
Yeah, I mean, good. the four resources were kind of like a big thing, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And priests can convert now, apparently. Again, that is a good thing. The Vololo
that was again one of those the very iconic thing of Age of Empires. I remember.
One of the things, I mean, I think my favorite, not my favorite announced game or whatever, my favorite trailer from the Xbox and the Bethesda presentation would be the Outer Worlds 2 one, right? That was super meta. Like, it was like, I mean, they were making fun of a lot of things, I guess, right? Happening right now in the creative industry, not just gaming. I mean, it is a game trailer, so they are mainly hinting at certain other developers and publishers and games. But when you kind of break down the trailer, you realize they're talking about the entertainment sector in general.
Yeah. Actually,
unfinished games.
Right? Yeah, unfinished games and even movies sometimes. Like, now you have these things where before the trailer comes out, there's a teaser for the trailer.
Yeah.
And a teaser for the teaser. Like, there's short 5-second it's like a short 5-second clip of something that's trying to hype up the teaser. Like, why do you need to do that? Like, it's kind of unnecessary. And I mean, and also like I think a lot of games are, because of the pandemic, they are being delayed, so there's not much to show, but they want to show something, so they put together these cinematic trailers. I think it's fine for announcements, when you're announcing a game and you show a cinematic trailer, to kind of give the tone of it, the vibe of it. But when you're expecting to see some gameplay and they show a cinematic, it's kind of disappointing. But then last year was not a normal year, so I kind of get it. But it's nice to see them kind of make fun of it as well.
Yeah, I mean that is the joy of that. Like, the narrator was very tongue-in-cheek. He was like, this creature is not in the game, right? It's not going to be in the game when they show that passive creature. And this and this shot with a lot of lens flare was like mock. That's an attack at a lot of games. Right?
Yeah, and they made fun of the trailer music with
the Hans Zimmer
sound. Yeah.
Right.
So
and the big bold title coming up. Right. I mean, a lot of that can actually be diverted at something like Cyberpunk. I'm like pretty sure, like unfinished game.